What's up, everybody? And welcome back to another 3D Hangout? No. I'm all messed up and confabulated now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Level Lair, the live edition. I wanted to do a quick stream today on the PiGRRL Zero project. It was released last week on Thursday. On Monday, new Pi Zero came out. It's version 1.3. It has a camera port now. So I wanted to do a follow-up on it and just talk a little bit about it. If you guys are wondering where can I get my Pi Zero, it is available in some places. So I was looking at the website, Where is my Pi Zero, made by Arthur QVK, who put together this monitoring site. So you can check here which suppliers, online distributors have the Pi Zero, the new one, the 1.3 version. Pyromony and Pi Hut seem to have it still. Pi Supply and Adafruit are unfortunately out of stock, but hopefully we're working hard to get them back in stock. So today I want to take a look at the PiGRRL Zero project. Here it is. The latest thing I've done to it is I've added these new buttons that we're going to have in the Adafruit shop soon. These are 7.8 millimeter buttons. They're a little bit bigger than the 6 millimeter buttons that you're used to. But the awesome thing is they have no click. They if you cut them open, they have a little rubber elastomer and two metal contacts that close the circuit. So using them on the PiGRRL Zero project is amazing because it feels a lot better, very quiet, discreet sounding, and they're very, very nice. So that's the latest project. I haven't done any other updates to the case. What was released on Thursday is this. It is the latest and greatest. So that's basically the thing I wanted to show you. But some guys on the various comments have been asking me on the social networks to see if I can cut the case in half so it can fit on smaller printer beds. There are some printers out there, like the one behind me here is the PrinterBot Play. Unfortunately, it's like a little bit too big to fit. I think it's like 10 millimeters or so too big. So what I wanted to do in this live stream tutorial is to cut it in half. But I want to do it a little bit more strategically than just cutting it straight in half. So what I have here is two 3D printed squares that I have done a quick test to see tolerances. So if you can see here, they're actually little finger joints. So the finger joints will give a little bit more friction and snap the cases together so that they can stay together like that, you can see. So that's what I plan to do on the PiGRRL Zero, but there's some geometry here that is a little bit, you have to kind of be strategic about it. So for this example, I probably can't do it there because it's too close in the buttons. I could probably have one here, and I could probably lock the key it here as well. So we're going to take a look at CAD stuff, and we'll try to make a kind of smart cutting way. Maybe it'll be a dovetail, or maybe it'll just be these finger joints here. And I've done a tutorial before on how to create a sort of a workflow for creating this type of finger joint stuff. So that's what I'm going to try to do on this case. It's a lot easier to do it, of course, on a flat piece of nothing, but we'll see if we can work it here. If you guys have any comments and stuff, I have the chat on the sidebar, or at least on these two shots, like this one and this one. So experimenting with that. Hello, sir, in the chat room. I know it's a little bit early, so at least here in the Eastern time. So yeah, folks can just come in as they go. So let's go back over here. And quickly, of course, the guide on the Adafruit Learning System is live. You guys can download the CAD files, the Fusion 360 source files. We're still working on getting the gamepad PCB. It'll take probably another week. And like I said, those buttons, these rubber buttons, were probably in the same time frame. We had a week or two. So that's pretty much it there. Covered the Pi, the availability of the Pi, what we're going to do. So if I open up Fusion, I already have the case open here. So this is what we're going to be working with. You can download the Fusion archive file by going to the 3D printing section in the guide, and then down here it says download source. You can download the source here. And I also have I managed to upload it to like 4 different share sites. We got Pinshape, Thingiverse, Cults 3D, and Umagine. So take your pick, whichever one you want to support, you can download it there. Or of course you could just download the source if you plan to do a remix. So that's about it there. Back over to CAD. So how are we going to cut this thing in half? Of course we could just cut it in half normally, but like I was saying, I want to do some finger joints so that you have more of a alignment. So you don't have this alignment issue. You have to be like careful when you're gluing it together. So that's what I'm going to hope to do. All right, first thing I'm going to do is I will do some duplications. I will duplicate this case because I want to have a copy of it. So to do that, I'm going to save some resources and hide all this stuff here, all the components and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and hide them. Right click, show and hide. That way I only have the case. And I still have, there, let me hide that one there. Okay. You get rid of, oh yeah, the bottom there is still there. Okay, cool. So I'll make some copies of it. And to do that, I have to right click, hit copy, and then up here I hit paste, I believe. Paste. And it makes a copy. Hit OK. I can actually make 2 copies here. See the selection thing? Maybe I can make 2 copies with one go. Cool. I think so. 2 bodies down here in the right corner. It says 2 bodies. I think that's the way to do it. So hit OK. And I don't think it did it. It did the top copy. So I have 2 versions of the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this one, or this one rather, because it has a 1 on it. I will rename this to top, and then like split, and then A, because I plan to make 2, like a left and a right, so an A and a B. So that's the first one, and then the second one, which is this guy over here, I'll have to do the same thing. I'll have to copy, and then go up to the main component, the main assembly, and then go paste. It'll think about it, and then I'll hit OK. And paste it, and you can see here in the timeline it has added those copies and movements to the timeline. So you can always reference it, I guess, or go back to it. So okay, I'm gonna name this like I did the other one, split A, and that's what's gonna split. All right, so we got our bottoms and our top. So let's start with the top because that seems to me to be the most challenging one. So I need to figure out where the center of this is, and I do have a construction plane that I created that cuts right in half of it, which is right there, I believe, but I'm not sure if I can reference it when I'm drawing on here on top like a sketch. So what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and let's make a line. So I'm going to use not the spline but the line tool. And it's going to tell me, well, where do you want to cut? I'm going to click on the surface of the top case, and Fusion's going to make a projection of that. So sort of outline it out and just make a copy, not a copy, but a projection of the surface. So all this is like projected, and I can reference all these lines and stuff. So if I roll over here using my line tool, I can find the center spot, and that little triangle that you may or may not be able to see. The little triangle has the little triangle in the X signifies that it is the center. So I'm gonna click on this, and now I can start drawing out my cutting thing. So I get to choose how big the finger joint wants to be, how long it should be. So I'm gonna think probably about 4. So I'm just gonna type in 4, then click. And then I'll draw it out a bit over here, so probably 4 to keep it the same. Click, 4 again, click, and I think I have enough room to make just one cut. And then I'm just going to cut this whole thing down like that. And I'll hit escape. And I should drag out this over here. I probably won't be able to because it's locked. Yeah, it's locked. So I'll just continue the line with a separate line and just cut there. Alright, so that seems to be a good way to go about it. I think that will be okay. I'm going to cut through the whole thing using this line. So hit stop sketch. So now that I have my sort of cutting tool line thing, what I'll do is I'll come over to the model workspace, and I'm going to go to patch, because patch allows me to extrude a single line, or well, this series of lines that makes a single line. So to do that, I'm going to go to create extrude, and I'm going to click on the lines that we created. So this one, Oh, magically it selected the whole thing as one. So if I start dragging up the little manipulator here, you'll see that it's gonna extrude that single line as a patch. It's not a solid yet, but it's a patch. And I'll change the direction to symmetric. That way you can cut through the whole thing here, the whole enclosure like that. And what I'm thinking in my head is I'd like to have another key here, but I would have to draw a new profile thing. So maybe work with that in a little bit here. So let me just get this first incision, and then we'll work on these layers here, or this surface, the plane. Let's say plane. So I'm still extruding. I'll go ahead and hit OK. And now I have this patch. If you go to your body, you can see it has a different icon. See, all these bodies have a solid icon looking thing, little cylinder. Well, this one's just telling you that's not a body. It's, even though it says body, it's a patch. So we need to thicken this up. Audio problems are some of the worst things to deal with. Hopefully it's all good now. Test. Yeah, it's all good now. So my microphone has this issue where if it's plugged in too long, or if I have too many USB devices plugged in, it'll just gargle up my voice. It's kind of funny. Sorry about that, folks. You know, things happen. It is a live stream and whatnot. Hopefully it wasn't like the whole thing. It probably was the whole thing. Oh, Benny Hill, your comment is exactly what I'm thinking. All right, well, I will do my best to make sure that doesn't happen again. But you know, sometimes it just happens. So I'm gonna jump right back into the catters, and thank you guys for dealing with it. So what I need to figure out is how do I add a finger joint to the side of the case here, so that we have more of a more points of friction, gives it a better snap fit. Since it's already cut, I'm not sure how to go about it. I think I could just draw on it and then cut it and then just like combine the thing. I don't know. We'll see here. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it. I could just try doing it and then sorting out how because I have the gap here already, so I wonder how to do it. Obviously, as you sketch, you can't kind of sketch on two different planes at the same time, so it is a little bit of a challenge. It's a mental challenge because I haven't done that before. I'm not sure how to go about it. So, I do have the extra bits here. So let me delete these actually. The remove things where I removed everything. That way I have something to combine to. So you see how I have that I just need to rename these. Okay, so I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking I should bring back those little split cut pieces because I can use those to fill in the gaps, right? So I might need them. So let's call this the cutter top. So I know it's the cutter top because we're gonna have quite a few layers, especially with all the planes. All right, let me bring these back one by one. I'm already getting confused. Here's this piece. Let's call this like a bottom. And then I think this one, yeah, this one would be a top. Like that. TOP. Like that. Alright, so that way we can use these to merge into the piece because we need to fill the gap and then remove the gap on the next tool. So we'll see how that works out. But for now, let's hide them. So like maybe move them at a better. You can just move things in your browser to sort of make more sense of it. I think I'll move split B up here. Yeah, that should be okay. Wait, yeah, let's put it back down there. All right. Maybe down here. All right, that's gonna work hopefully. All right. You know what I could do is, because I'm thinking in my head like, hey, what's gonna be the exact center? I could just hide all these guys and then bring back the regular case and then just sketch on this one so that it's like not cut yet. If that makes sense. So let's go ahead and start with the line tool again. I'll click on this plane, this surface of the case. That way it's sort of referenced. And again, I can just find the center point by hovering over one of the lines of the projection until I get that triangle thing. I'll click on that, and I'll use the same 4 millimeters, probably 3 because it's shorter, obviously. So 3, make that 90 degree. Click 3 again. 3. Oh no, I locked 3 and then 90 over here. Click, bring it back, and then bring it all the way down. All right, and then add again to complete this guy up here, like that, and then escape. All right, so I got that. I hit stop sketch. And we'll need to do the same stuff. Let me go ahead and hide. Well, maybe leave it for a second. What I want to do is start naming my sketches. So I'll call this one top cutter. Then I need to like say top side cutter. I should probably put top case to specify that this is the top of the case and it's a cutter. All right, that'll be fine. I could get more granular with the name, but whatever. I know what it means. So let's go back to the patch. We'll go patch, go to create, and we'll do an extrude of the line we just made, like that. And drag it out all the way this way. Zip. And yeah, that should do it. I'll hit OK. So I'm trying to cut the whole thing here, and there'll be a key or a finger joint right there, just one finger joint, and go again. And go back to, oh wait, I need to thicken it. So go to create, thicken, select your face, and there's the thickness already set for me because it remembers. It's like a history thing. Okay, 0.2, that's what we want. Hit OK. Now we have our cutter. Call it cutter side top. There he goes. Now we'll switch from patch back over to model. Go to split body. And instead of splitting this guy, I think I should split the actual split case already. See how that would go about. So let me hide top case, and then bring back, that's the cutter, that's B, and this one's A. So I guess we will, and there's a gap there, obviously. I'm curious how this is going to work out. Silence. That's the thinking happening. Huh, and there'll be an overhang too. I'm thinking about, like, since it's going to print this way, we're going to have a bit of an overhang issue since it's just going to be like that. So maybe it's not a good idea to add a finger joint here. You see what I'm saying? Like if I cut this, then I have this 3mm bridge, which will certainly sag. So that's not good. So maybe that isn't a good idea. Wah, wah. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea, guys. I could change the shape to be a bit of a chamfer, you know, like make it like a triangle or something, like a 90-degree finger joint. But then you're still gonna have a bit of sag and stuff because it's just printing like this. So maybe this is gonna be the way to go, because I'm just gonna add more complexity and stuff to it. So maybe this is the right way to go. Just have one finger joint. It's better than having no finger joints, I think. What do you guys think? I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Over here. Make Lego blocks from the case, says Yanni. Benny Hill. Yeah. Hook up your Pi 3s. Well, if anybody has a good idea about the cutting on the side, let me know. I would have a problem because if I cut, you know, in the center, I'm gonna have all this weird oddities here where because the switch here is in the center as well. So maybe it is okay to just do one finger joint. So, all right, we're just gonna leave it that. We should probably do the next one then. The next case, the bottom case. Let's go back over here. So I got that one finger joint, and I think that's going to be okay. So let's get rid of just to clean things up, I'm going to get rid of all the side stuff I made. So it's like this one, and this one. So I'm going to delete that. Right click, delete. And then the last piece would be that split there, so that's good. So let me hide the split, the top piece, and then we'll do the copy of the bottom, which is B. Wait, no, I never did a duplicate of the bottom. Yeah, I did. Split A. Here it is. All right, cool. So let's cut this guy in half. See, since this one has more surface area, I can do all sorts of finger joints, and that's fine. It's a lot better than the top. The top was really the one that was like, man, it's going to be difficult to add finger joints to it, but I think one will hopefully be okay. Of course, the easier thing is just to cut the thing right in the middle, but I wanted to make it a little bit better, especially like utilizing that technique of doing finger joints. I figured that would be kind of interesting to do, because I've done a tutorial on it, but it was like on just a piece of nothing. So at least this way I can do it on an actual project, right? So let's start again with clicking on the line tool and then clicking on the bottom surface of this guy so I can get a reference point and a projection. So again, I'm going to roll over till I get that center point. And I could probably make these a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna make it 5. First, the length and width of the fingers would be 5 by 5. And what I'll do here is, if you guys didn't see the tutorial, I could just make a little bit of it. So you see how I made just this one instead of drawing all the way out. I can just do a pattern to make things easier for me. So that's what I'll do. I'll go to Sketch, go to Rectangular Pattern, and then my objects, or my lines, will be these 4 lines. And then I'll change the distance type from extents to spacing, because I know the spacing needs to be 5 millimeters. Or 10. Is it 10? 10 millimeters. And then you can see I can add more quantities. So 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a little bit odd there. I'm not sure if I like that, because this right here, this area here, is actually the what you call it, the fillet at the bottom. I don't know if I want to cut it at such a oblong kind of area, so I'll have to mess with the thing a bit. So I'll hit OK, just to confirm that, and then I can just move this a bit. I think we can. Hopefully select these guys. Oop. I'm just gonna click and select these, like these lines that were made to make the pattern, and I'll hit move and see if I can move it, and if everything will move with it. Oh no, it's not moving. Sometimes this happens where it won't move. Oh, it won't move because it's referencing the projection here. So I need to like get rid of that constraint rather. And now let's see if I can remove it. All I did was I clicked on the little triangle icon, and then I hit remove. That's too many. There you go. Let's see if I can move that now. Will it move? Yes, it will move. Wonderful. And it moves the whole group too. So again, I'm trying to move this because I don't want that weird oblongness here at the fillet. So let's see if I can just input some values here. That's too much. Maybe 4.5. Nope, it needs to be less. So let's try 3. Maybe just 3, normal 3. And that's not too bad, I think. Of course, I'll have to extend this up here. Maybe less, maybe 2. I think that will do it. Yeah, you see how there's just enough clearance there. Yeah, I think that'll work. So let's hit OK, and then I'll add to this guy here with the line tool. Just like extend the line upwards. Not like click and drag it, but add a new one, because if I click and drag it, it'll mess with the pattern. So that's all I want. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. I wish I could center everything, but you know, I think it'll be just fine. Alright, let's hit stop sketch. Go back to pattern or patch, and then we'll create an extrude from the line we just made. And you can see it's not going to select the whole profile because of the pattern tool. So we just have to click individual sections of it until we select the whole thing. There we go. Make the direction symmetrical. Pull it out. Yeah, you can see the little slide switch area here is like, it's going to have some overhang issue. So I'll probably move it. But I kind of want it in the center because Oh wow, you can see it's cutting here to the little wall. Yeah, that might cause some problems. So I'm going to try to cut it probably more over here. So I can do at this point is just move it. Well, I need to thicken it first. So let's thicken it. Look at that. 0.2 is again our tolerance. Now I'm going to go to model. Rename this to case bottom cutter. Or probably cutter bottom to be more with this guy here. And we can move it at this point. So I'll do that. I'll get the move tool, highlight that. Let's go to the top view and then try to get it away, maybe right there. This is a good spot. It's all arbitrary. It matters, but it doesn't really matter if it's more on this one or more on that way. I think it'll still be smaller than 100 millimeters. I hope. That's my hope. So yeah, now we can split it at this point. So to do that, again, modify, split body, click on that. Select our splitting tool. Whoops. That's just one face. I need to click the whole thing. I need to clear the frog on my throat. Sorry about that. Alright, now we split it. And this is A and this is B. Let's call this split B. And then we'll find this guy here. This is the cutter. Hide it. And we need to find the center thing, which is probably this one here. Don't need it. There we go. There's a nice little gap. Remember, we need that gap for printing reasons. So, I mean, it kind of looks messy, a little bit like a puzzle piece, but I think, again, the way to get rid of that seam is going to be a lot of sanding, maybe some 3D XT, or yeah, 3XT 3D coating, and a lot of sanding. But those are the joys of having a printer with a small bed, you know. I'm going to try printing this on the printer bot in the back here. It'll take a little bit, but, you know. So I think that's it. No, we need this one and this one, right? Yeah. So there's our pieces cut up in some strategic way. Always thinking about 3D printing in mind. Am I creating overhangs? Is this tolerance going to work? Is it going to actually snap fit together? So I think that hopefully will work. You have to be very not cautious, but aware of all of your geometries. You don't want to create more problems. So I think that'll work. Hopefully it works. I'm going to go ahead and export these out. Do you guys have any comments about this? Whoops. Let me just go to the window. Cut around the body, says Luke. Could you be more descriptive of cut around the body? Not sure what you mean. So what I'm going to do at this point is export this bigger piece and see if it's within the bounds of 100 by 100. Because that seems to be like the smallest bed, I think, like for all the small printers out there. So let's export it out. Okay. I should have brought it into Simplify, like right off the bat. You guys know about that? You can right click, save as, set the output here, send to printer, and Simplify is already select. I'll hit OK, and it'll actually bring it right into Simplify 3D. Oops, I'm in that weird mode, so I just need to get out of that. I'm in the, there it is. Look at that, it fits, absolutely fits. Check that out. Yeah, it's 81 by 63 by 73. Pretty cool. Hit done. And let me look at my printer setting. This is a printer bot, of course. Printer bot play. It's in the background over there. And I have a layer height sets of what I like. Some solid layers. 2 millimeters for the perimeter. My speed is, I believe, 60, 90. Yep. And everything else is sort of standard. All right, hit OK. Let's do a little bit of that. Cool. All right. I think that'll do. You guys want to see me print it? I'm trying to be more interactive in chat. Let's see if nope. Hi everybody. Hey Kirby. Just cutting some stuff up. Alright, well I was hoping that Luke had a more descriptor about cutting around the body, because I'm curious to hear what that entitles, what that means, what he's talking about. Maybe he had a good idea. But again, this is test 1. I plan to do other tests on cutting to get the right cut and to sort this stuff out. Maybe I'll find a better way to, maybe I'll try out that that sort of finger that's more like a triangle. Maybe that'll work, because again, when you're printing upways like that, you don't want to have this bridge, because then you have a lot of sagging, especially when there's no sort of something that catches the bridge. A lot like this. Like this is an example of a bridge that will print okay. See, it's 90 degrees. You usually think, no, that's bad for your printer. But if you have another area to catch the bridging, then you're typically okay. So, especially since such a short distance, like that one there for the slide switch. So, enough dilly-dally. I'm going to plug in the printer. So I don't have it plugged in. That's why I don't plug it in. I have it plugged in all the time. There's a very loud fan that never turns off. Could add a switch or something, but you know. Alright, here we are. Are the cuts offset? Kirby saying, are the cuts offset for each half so it doesn't snap in half? Yes, it's Kirby, absolutely. So if you look here at the CAD, you probably just came in, huh? You can see that I have a bit of a tolerance gap here. I used the patch extrude and thicken to make a 1.2 millimeter gap between the cutting. So that's what we did. If you remember a tutorial I did a little bit ago called making finger joints, I basically did the same techniques, and I got a little bit of a snag because I was trying to add a finger joint here on the side of the case, but I got stuck because I was like, oh no, I just created a overhang problem. So that's why I opted out of having to do that. And then I have an idea of making like a triangle finger joint so that you would have less of an overhang issue, but I still don't think that is a good idea. So that's why I avoided it. That and to keep the stream a little bit short. I think that'll be okay though. And you can see I didn't add a finger joint in between the PiTFT buttons because it's such a small distance here that I don't think a finger would work well there. So that's why I opted out of that. But this is just a test to see if it's good. If not, I'll refine it and try to add some more detail to it or whatnot. But I'm about to print out the bottom half piece, the longer bit. And the reason why it's longer is because I needed to avoid cutting the switch holder in half. I don't want to cut that in half because if I cut it right in the center, I'll have a bit of that overhang issue where the bridge isn't being caught. So that's why I cut it over here. I could have cut it over here too, but it's arbitrary. It doesn't matter where I cut it, as long as it's not cutting some important details. So in here, I'm going to connect. I'm using Octoprint, latest update. I need to export out. Let me heat it up real quick. 220. Terminal. Here's my control stuff. Yeah, it's a little slow because I'm streaming and stiff, but let that heat up while I export the thing. Kirby's in California. Cool. Enjoy your stay, man. And then I'm ready to export. I'm gonna call it, oh man, it's gonna be a long name. PiGRRL Zero bottom A, yeah, and then play for PrinterBot play. Okay, we could get more granular with the names and whatever. Upload it, and as soon as it starts printing, I'll let it print for a little bit, and then I'm gonna cut the stream because it's probably been an hour, so I don't like to keep the streams too long. But hopefully you guys got something out of it. Just as things to be aware of when you're cutting 3D printed pieces down. There's, you know, you could just cut it in half and have a straight cut. But if you're a little bit more smart, not smart, but like strategic about it, you can make it so that they snap fit together as opposed to just like clamping them together with, I don't know, clamps, right? So that was the whole point of the tutorial. Again, this was a requested thing. People have small printers. I have a small printer, or have a printer with a small bed. So cutting up pieces can be an art. It can be an art. So printer's ready to print. Let me do a quick purging of it, so I don't have the right start G code to like do a little bit of a purge. Most printers have like a G code, the start G code, where it purges for you, but I have neglected to put that on this one, or at least on this version of my slicer. So I'll extrude. Go up a little bit more. There we go. Some buggers here. All right, that's good. I mean, of course, you get a purge when you do a skirt, but I like to really purge it. All right. There's a little countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If I can make this bigger. Yeah. The feed of the camera, because I'm streaming, so I'll report back to you guys, let you know how this turned out. It says it'll take about an hour to print this part, so oh man, it might take 4 hours to print this whole thing, which is good. I gotta test this out anyway. So again, if you folks don't know yet, PiGRRL Zero is released. She's out there in the wild. Pies are in stock in PiRamuni, and the Pi Hut have it in stock. This is whereismypi0.com, because that seems to be the hardest thing to get. I think that's gonna be it. Yep, 51 minutes. Not bad. Good stuff. Alright guys, again, I apologize for the audio stuff in the beginning. Stuff happens, you know. We are going to have the gamepad PCBs in stock in the next week or so, along with these buttons, these new rubber elastomer silent buttons. Yeah. Fun times. So I'm gonna do some play testing. Some other folks are asking how long does the battery last. You know, I think about 2 hours, since the Pi Zero draws about what is it, 200 milliamps, I think Lamar said, Lady Ada, and it's a 2,000 milliamp battery, so it's gonna be about 2 hours, which isn't a lot, but that seemed to be it's up to you guys. Again, I don't have like a specific battery holder modeled for the case, so you can add a different battery. Maybe a 2,500 milliamp battery will fit in there. I haven't tried it. And again, one thing that kind of sucks, I've mentioned it now, is the batteries, because they're, you know, they're like the lithium polymer batteries, they have that sort of that liability of exploding when shipping. We actually opted out of shipping batteries with the kits. Kirby, I remember you asked that on last week's Last Engineer, and I was like, I didn't actually know that. So as we're we're building the kit, I'm working with John O'Brien, who does the product description and all the product stuff, like stocking and buying. I remembered that, yeah, we can't ship the battery with the kit because of the liability issues. It just becomes a hassle with legalities and things, especially international shipping. So that sucks, but you know, you'll have to get the battery either elsewhere or from Adafruit just as a separate thing. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Sorry about the audio. I was dubstepping. Yeah, over here. I just wanted to show you guys real quick what's printing. Yeah, it's gonna be slow, painful. Take about an hour. Alright folks, thank you guys for Ask Engineer and Show and Tell. And then 3D Thursdays on Thursday, of course. I'll catch you guys later. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you later. I'll catch up with you guys and show you the results and stuff. Either later today or tomorrow. Alright guys, I will see you later. I keep saying that. Bye everybody.